Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning into another Diecast Emporium video. So you see the round table going around and around with that blue obnoxious thing on top of it. Basically, the reason why that blue thing is on top of my mini spinny table, say that 10 times fast, is because that the models that I will be reviewing, most of them have plastic wheels and they easily will roll off the glass surface. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into this video. So, as many of you who follow me on Instagram know, over the years, I've been collecting the Matchbox MBX Construction Inc. collection, and it's just something Matchbox did to most of their construction-related vehicles through the years. They added that famous blue and yellow paint scheme, so I've tried to keep up with it, and I figured I'd show them, or most of them, to you. There's a couple I don't have, and I will make that notion when we get there. They made two of them in the Real Working Rigs series, so here is the larger bulldozer. What's really cool about this one is the fact that the blade does work. There's actually a lot of metal content for being a Matchbox model. And also the ripper works. Plus the fact the tracks on this do roll. There's no wheels underneath it like you would normally see on a typical Matchbox toy. They are actually working tracks. Now the other one that they did for the Real Working Rigs series was this large excavator. I only have one of these, so that's why it's kind of staying on the card and not opened. But this was just the other one that they made. Again, with movable parts and rubber tracks, no wheels underneath it. Made for quite a nice excavator, to be honest with you. They also made this casting in orange and white. So, while we're doing the ones I only have one of, here is one of my favorites, and it's the scraper. As you can see right behind the wheel, it's a scraper there. And this was part of the Matchbox, I don't know, Easter selection thing they did at Kroger a few years ago. I'm hoping to find another one of these so that I can open up one of these and keep one new on the cart. Also, the final one that I do not have at all to show you guys is just a standard tractor. Nothing really special about it. It's just a regular long-nosed tractor-looking thing. Alright, so the next thing that we have is this three-wheeled dump truck. This was part of a 5-pack of Matchbox construction vehicles, I believe. And the only reason I bought the 5-pack was because it had this particular dump truck in this particular livery on it. Overall, it's decent. It's based on a on a 6-wheeled mining dump truck. It does have a hitch at the back. But otherwise, pretty simple but good looking. Next up, we have a skid steer loader with a auger attachment on the front. And this was cool because the kids could turn, see if I can zoom in on this. The kids could turn this little dial up here. And when you turn the dial, the actual auger moved. So kind of a nice implementation by Matchbox. Bear in mind that most of these singles that you will see, with the exception of the Real Working Rigs that I showed you, are just 99-cent toys. So any collectability or play value that's added to these is always a worthwhile inclusion. Next, we have the ground grinder, which is based off of a grader. It's got that snow plow in the front and the blade in the center that you would see on most graders. The blade doesn't move left or right or move at all. But bear in mind, it does look decent when posed with all these other INC vehicles. Next, we have the, I think it's called ground grabber. It's one of the newer ones. It's a wheeled excavator. No, the bucket doesn't curl, but the stick does go up and down. That's it. And you can spin it 360 degrees. So, and as you see, it kind of got stalled out on the table because it's a little on the heavy side. But it's got the blade in the front and your excavator arm on the back. Pretty cool looking. And definitely not too far-fetched. Maybe one or two of these will be a little bit on the kind of crazy side, but... Alright, so the next one up is a European truck. I believe this is a DAF. I think they called it Space Cab or whatever. Essentially a cab over tractor. It does have a hole in the rear. A fifth wheel hole. If you want to hook up some of your Matchbox tractors, or trailers, excuse me. As long as they have that little piece at the end, it will connect to the fifth wheel. So if you have a low boy, you know, in Matchbox scale lying around, you could hook it to the back of this and display it hauling one of the other INC machines. Next is the all-terrain crane, which is based on, say it all together, a crane. Most of the blue that you see is the metal part of this casting. Everything else, including the stabilizers, which do not function, are plastic. This does raise. It does not extend or telescope any further than that. But it is a nice little crane for your collection. Let it rotate over here before I take it off. Alright, so that's the all-terrain crane. Next up, we have a model called the Tractor Plow, which is more or less a fantasy model, but it's not too terribly far-fetched. What's really cool is that the angled blade that you see is metal. I don't know how to really... Can't really hear it, but... It is metal. So if you're out... You know... If your kid's out playing in the dirt, that's actually a pretty sturdy pusher. It's not like one of these plastic implements that with repeated play will probably break or give up over time. Nothing on the rear of this. This one's mostly blue with a couple stripes of yellow. And then Tractor Plow is the white, is what's written in the white lettering just below the door. And again, the blade doesn't move, but it is angled off to one side. Pretty neat. Now this is probably the one that's the most, I guess they call it Matchbox Originals. Things that aren't really based on real vehicles. This is called the Dirt Smasher. And I guess if you had to, you could compare it to a wheel loader with a grapple mechanism on the front, which does close. It doesn't raise or lower, but it does open and close. So a lot of kids will like that. All right. Next up, we have the Load Lifter, which is obviously based on a forklift, or a telescopic handler if you want to be really specific. Up and down, that's all you get out of this one. But a neat feature, adds to the play value for kids. Like most of the other ones, all of the blue is metal. The yellow arm and forks are made of plastic. And of course the tires are plastic. Alright, next up, one of my favorites. Here's the Road Roller, which is based on a smooth drum compactor. This is one of the ones, again, it's a Matchbox original, it's not a licensed piece, but I think we can all agree that it does look like a realistic piece of construction equipment. And if you're really keen, you can probably name the manufacturer that this is, or was inspired from. If you look at the lines and if you look at some of the details, you can very easily tell that Matchbox certainly had some quality pictures to look at when they were making this casting. I do like it, though, because it's very heavy. So if you do want to actually roll something or compact something, it will do just that. 2 more, and then we'll end this video. Here is the International CXT. Love this truck. This was first released, I think, in the mid-2000s, 2005, 2006. Just a massive pickup truck / semi-truck crossover, if you will. I don't know what category to put this vehicle in. A neighbor of mine actually had one in yellow, and it was just such a cool truck. As you saw, it has the hitch at the back, and this is a licensed model with the International grille on the front. Last but certainly not least, we have... Hold on, let me get it. We have the cement mixer, which they call the Concrete King or Cement King, somewhere around there. This is a 2017 Matchbox release. So this is the most recent one. Again, a cab-over design, which really kind of stinks in my opinion, because you don't really see too many cab-over trucks at all here on this side of the pond, and it would have looked so much better, obviously, with a long nose or even a licensed truck. But it's still cool. You can see the chute is modeled in that gray, and the yellow drum does rotate here. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know a lot of you, after I posted pictures on Instagram, wanted to see it. There's a lot of Matchbox collectors and Hot Wheel collectors that are from ages 0 to 100. I mean, this is what I love about this hobby, is Diecast kind of runs the gamut of the age group. So that being said, if you have a kid and you're looking to, get them into the hobby by collecting something that they'll actually like and play with, but at the same time they can display together, the INC by Matchbox series, the INC Construction by Matchbox series, is a really, really good choice for them. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you next time.